Welcome along, guys. It is round 6. We're off to Oulton Park tonight. It's going to be some great racing around a very tight British circuit. It's not as wide as other places and it's very, very unforgiving, and we're going to see some great action around here tonight. I'm really looking forward to this one, and hopefully getting a good sized grid as well. Hopefully it does space out, and of course, as always, it's a 60-minute race, one mandatory pit stop, and there's no time limit on that fuel either, because it's literally mandatory fuel. Tyres are an option. So what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to jump across to the standings and get a good update on what's happening in our ACC league. Now let's have a look at the standings here, guys. We've got Jon Dudley in first place on 490.5 points. He is ahead of Dominic Geese, who's on 458.5 points. We've got Chico Leanfar in third position on 437.5 points. Then in fourth position, we've Luca Murray on 435.5 points. So literally 2 points behind Chico. So a nice little battle going on for third there. Although to be fair, there's 60 points covering the top 4 at the minute, and only 90 points covering, or just under 90 points covering the top 5. But Matty Gamble, he did miss one race and is on 405 points. He's had a great season so far as well. I had him tipped as one of the favourites, but of course consistency with Jon Dudley is what has him on top at the minute. Then in P6 we have Chris Tedder. He's had quite an unlucky last 2 races. Definitely has way more pace than what has been shown, unfortunately. We're looking forward to seeing him come back up strong. He's only 3.5 points behind Matty Gamble on 401.5 points. So looking forward to seeing what Chris can do this evening. Patrick Beesters then is in 7th position on 389 points, and only 6 points behind him is Tom Solis, who had a great round 2 and then is, I think, struggled in terms of overall pace, but doing some amazing racing and has been quite unlucky as well, to be fair about it, Tom. Then we've got Dr. Trevel behind him as well, and the same thing again. I think he's been unlucky. He's had some great pace, and obviously the last race involved in that incident as well, so he's been quite unlucky. So a few of these guys I feel are a bit out of position, and Trevel is on 381.5, so only 1.5 points behind his teammate Tom Solis. Then in P10 we've got Aaron Holloway, and he is on 365 points at the minute, doing a very good job there as well. And then we're going to jump down a bit more and have a look. So then we've got Glenn Smith in P11, and Glenn, unfortunately, after DNFing in the first race, is starting to come back a bit. He's on 337.5 points and still 3 races to go, over 300 points at stake. I definitely think Glenn is going to be doing very well. He's been just getting faster and faster. The man was so used to Aston Martin, and he's jumped into the Lambo and done a phenomenal job. Then we've got Matas Navakis, who is on 336 points, so 1.5 points behind Glenn, and doing a phenomenal job as well. Then we've got Nathan Warren, who was out on a lovely meal last week, so hopefully we'll be back tonight on 302 points there. And of course, you miss a race here, you really do feel it in the points. Then we have Michael Syme next, with an unfortunate last race, quite frustrating. He's super fast. He's on 294 points and looking to do better here hopefully tonight. Then we have Britt Batiste, who's on 281 points. He had a terrible disconnect last race, and I felt it for him. He was in such a good position in P3 at the time when the disconnect happened there. So hopefully in P15 he'll be jumping up a few spots as well, because he's not that far off Michael Syme. And then behind him we've got Craig Hewlett in the Porsche, doing a great job out there, 277 points there for Craig. Andy Podicott and the Ferrari is on 267 points, 267.5 points should I say, so 9.5 points behind Craig Hewlett. Then we've got in 18th position Justin Leip, who's on 242.5 points, who is ahead of course, a fan favourite, Mr. Andre Batic on 231 points, and of course his DNSs were for a race ban, but he was back and strong and doing a good job, so well done Mr. Batic. Then we've got Chris Podicott next on 226.5 points, doing quite a decent job, and getting into it there, DNF in the last race unfortunately. Then we've got Vladimir Small next, who's on 225 points, so 1.5 points behind Chris Podicott there. Then behind Vladimir we have then Darius Rutakis, and he is on 222 points, only 3 points behind him as well. Then we have the Irishman Peter Phelan on 189 points. Looking forward to seeing what Peter can do and try and get back into the championship a bit. Then we've got Jonas Gervekis in 24th place on 154 points. Then we've got Gary Smith, who made a return 2 weeks ago on 118 points, joined with Mr. Dan Poole on 118 points. So hopefully Gary will be back tonight. He'll come and go, I think, for this season, and maybe give it a full bash next season, as he joined in quite late. after hiatus from racing, so it's great to see Gary back. Then behind Dan Poole, we've got Adam Friday, who's on 113.5 points as well, doing a great job in 27, with Todd Brown in 28. He just came in for one appearance though as a wild card in the first race, came second and is on 109 points. Then we've got Jason Pooley next. He made his FFG debut with an amazing third on 104 points, but he did say in the Discord earlier he may not be able to make the race tonight. He's flat out wallpapering and sanding at the minute, so if you don't join us, hopefully you're not working too hard, buddy. Then we've got Alfred Donatoli, who was actually a wild card in the first race as well, on 97 points there. Then we've got Dariusz Szymowski, who raced in one race with ourselves so far. We might see him again soon. He's on 89.5 points. Then we've got Szymon Kowalski, who's on 88 points, who made his debut last week, along with Mirlash Kucha on 82 points, who made his debut also last week. Then we've got Stacey Ellis, we haven't seen in a while, on 79.5 points there. And then behind him we have Stefan Kredeshov, who came in as a wild card in the last race. So with wild cards and Simgate guys, they can race for one race and it doesn't have to be a full season, which is absolutely fine. Then we have Stanovic behind him in 17th, in 36th. He finished 17th on his one race with ourselves on 61 points. Then we have Liam Smith, who we've only seen in one race so far this season, because the first race, unfortunately, he had a bit of a disconnect. We'd love to see Liam Smith back in, and hopefully he does get back in soon as well. He's an absolute legend on 58.5 points. Then behind Liam we have Mr. Matt Ransley, who's in 38th position on 51 points, and he's only raced in the first race as well. He probably should have signed up as a wild card. Then we've got Oliver, who's missed a few races and then DNF'd in a few, but had one race in the double sprint where he finished on 47.5 points. Then we have Lexamon next on 23 points, on 47 points after his 23rd on his debut with ourselves. Then we have Izzadri, I always get this one wrong. He raced in our first race and I don't think we've seen him since, so I'd essentially call him a wild card. Then we've got Cam Masters, who has raced only in our reverse grid so far, but obviously he is in the USA and may not have the time. But Cam, we'd love to see you back soon on 38 points. Stephen Glennon as well, Big Buddha on 18.5 points, and that kind of ends out then all the championship point positions. Other people just haven't started or have only joined up, so we're looking forward to seeing the likes of Xerix Gladiator, and then it looked like the two brothers join in as well today, if I remember right. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. I think it's the Monday, so Nicholas there, and I think Nicholas's brother is also in car 72. So that'll be quite interesting to see how they get on tonight. So let's have a quick look at how the real guys do it, and then we're going to get into qualifying.
So it began on a damp but drying road with James Cottingham from pole position, kicking up spray, storming into the race lead on the way down towards the first corner into Oulton, swinging their way through that right-hander, and a good getaway by Richard Neary put him up into third behind Ian Loggy, who was also quick out of the blocks. Drama at the end of the lap, though, as Morgan Tilbrook went off the road. The fact that that car was able to recover for third place, mighty impressive in a race of changing fortunes, as Kevin Say grabbed a place away from the Neary's Mercedes coming out of dear lead. Move of the race, Andrew Howard, not one but two places gained on the inside going into Old Hall corner. That was quite something, and when the pit window opened, inevitably the AMS came in first in GT3, and the tyre choice was absolutely crucial going into the remainder of the race. Richard Neary's car, however, was not to survive for much longer, because it was edged up towards the grass coming up Water Tower, and it was a big drama that eventually saw the car head into the gravel at Druids and triggered a safety car, and Sam Neary lucky not to take anybody with him. Tried to dig the car out, he had the momentum, but as the back came round it ended up beached, and Jules Grunon overtaken on the restart after the safety car by Dan Harper, for which the BMW copped a penalty. More battles raged on as Marcus Classen moved himself up and past Ross Gunn. That put him second, but as the rain came back, so the McLaren fell away once more from the Aston Martin. But Johnny Adam led all the way as the battle was on for second place. So out of Old Hall corner came the Aston, and at the last corner of the last lap, Ross Gunn made his move on the outside for the race lead, but it was not to be. Couldn't quite do it. Johnny Adam and James Cottingham win round one of the Intelligent Money British GT Championship.
And welcome along, guys. We are already in qualifying. There's about 3.5 minutes to go. Matty Gamble is on provisional pole at the minute with a 1:32.960, half a second ahead of P2, which is Mr. Solid. So Matty Gamble having quite a bit of pace early on. So let's see who can do any improvements. Then you've got Chris Tedder in 3rd position. Trevel's up in 4th position there. Obviously, we know what happened with Trevel and Tedder in the last race. We do not expect anything like that. It was just a very unfortunate situation to be in. And let's see how we get on today. John Dudley, the championship leader there in P5 at the minute. He is improving his time a little bit, so we'll stay on with him as he continues on with this lap to see where he can go. He's about 2.5-ish seconds up. As I say that, I've cursed him already. He's after losing 1/10 of a second there, but let's see what he can do. Still got a bit lap to go. The only thing is, though, he does have a car now ahead of him, and Tedder's right behind him. Tedder, though, didn't get that corner just right. I'm sure Chris has enough fuel to go again, so he's not going to worry too much about that there. As you see, the lap times are 1.5 minutes, so even if you jump back into the pits and drive around, you would get 1 lap in, so it's not the be-all and end-all. Dudley is still slightly up. He's not up enough yet to improve, although Chico Leanfar just behind him is up quite a bit of time. Chico's only started his lap, so we'll jump on with Chico after this. So Dudley trying to find a little bit of time, but he's lost it all though. Can he get the last corner right? He'd still have another pop at the or cherry. He might get 2 laps in if he has enough fuel. As yeah, he's not going to improve this lap. Chico Leanfar, another Audi in the FFG Gulf livery. Quite nice and simplistic. I actually like that. He's lost a bit of time. I'm ruining everyone. Then we have Gary Smith. He's back again, as I stated in the little prelim video. He's only getting himself back into the sim racing after a bit of a hiatus out of it, so good to see him in. And he let slip to me anyway what car he's going with next season. I'm not going to say it. We'll see it as season 3 comes about. But looking forward to seeing what he's doing. Luca Mari, of course, the EOS Sim Sport driver, is in with ourselves this evening. Britt Batiste, of course, in also. And he's doing a good job there. P9 at the minute with the most handsome man in sim racing, Glenn Smith, in P10 at present. Up a bit of time. I'm not going to jinx him too much though. Then we've got Navakis in 11th at the minute, Nathan Moore in 12th, Dominic Geese in 13th. The most handsome German. I do love that car. We've got the Pool then in 14th, Hewlett's in 15th, Jay Lape is in 16th, Beasters is in 17th, that's him done with. Batek is in 18th, Poddycott's in 19th, Annam is in 20th in that beautiful looking Borker. Then we've got Aaron Holloway in 21st at the minute, but that could change if he gets a good lap in here. He's absolutely lit at the minute. So let's see what he can do by the end of it. Then we have got El Shang Pear, I'm just going to say Pear, in 22nd. Then we've got Andy in 23rd. Then we've got Javekis in 24th. Then we have Darius in 25th. And Aaron Sparks, first time in FFG. A season and a half it took, but we finally somehow snagged him in. I'm delighted to see him in here. And he is in 26th at the minute. Peter Field in 27, Kowalski then 28. Seems to be one driver has perfecto. Just looking at one thing there, guys. So let's get back into this. So Matty Gamble is on pole. He is on a lap, but he's not going to improve. I don't think anyone's going to improve anyway. So that is pretty much it for qualifying. Gamble, Solis, Tedder is your top 3. Gary Smith then in P4. We've got Chico Leanfar in P5. But that's a huge deficit. Matty Gamble is 0.560 seconds clear of his nearest rival. And then if you go from P2, taking Matty Gamble out of a P2 down to P14 or less than a second. So it's going to be super close. And Tom Solis and Matty Gamble actually share the fastest first sector at 22.715. Gamble is the fastest second sector, and Solis actually is the fastest third sector. Solis losing out really in the middle sector there, unfortunately for him. But that's it. The session has ended. I think that's everybody in now. So we should load into the weight screen, and what I'll normally do, I'll run through the grid, we'll have a look at their liveries. 29 people I think to get through in 4 or 5 minutes, so not too bad, we'll get it done. So let's wait for that to load up. But yeah, Oulton Park, I'm very jealous that the guys are racing and I'm not, because I absolutely love this track. It's so technical, it's super narrow, and it's super fun. It's a proper British circuit, proper European circuit, an old school one as well. It's nice and narrow. Very unforgiving as well, though. Especially in the rain, it's quite a tough track in Amigos. We had a very wet race here, and it's very tough. And I remember, I think I forgot to turn or put on wet tires as well. It was just crazy, but great fun all the same. I think Aaron Sparks has gone back out for a drive there, the mad hour. Oh, not Aaron Sparks. Sorry, Aaron Holloway. It is Aaron Holloway. He's doing a great job. He must be getting hired to cut the grass for the stream. I don't know what's going on with him. This car and track together is one miserable combination, bro. Aaron is not liking that, I see. Sure look. Aaron, do a few donuts if you can hear us. I do love the ACC cameras, though, to be fair. And here we go. Let's go. I don't know why that's doing it like that. Why isn't it letting me drive? Yeah, there we go. Let's do this stuff now. I'm just going to remove this actually from the car. So, beautiful lineup today. So in first position we have Matty Gamble. Then in second position it is Tom Solis. Oh, it's Glenn up in fourth. Ooh. Then we have Mr. Chris Tedder in third position in his lovely Macca. Then in fourth position is the most handsome man in sim racing, Glemsna. Unbelievable. Then we've got Chico Leanfar in P5. Then we have, this looks like Trevel is in P6. Well done, Trevel. I do love that beamer, by the way. Then we have the championship leader, Jon Dudley, sitting in there focused, ready to go. And of course, then beside Jon Dudley is Gary Smith. Gary, I really think you've done a great job on that livery, buddy. I actually think it's gorgeous. Then we have Luca Mari, then in P9. With Britt Batiste in P10 in Equal Machinery at Ferraris all together, as we have Dominic Geese then in 13th position, and he loves column up front. Then we have Novakis in P14. P12. Jumping ahead of myself. Then we have, of course, Mr. Nathan Moran in P13, and that's a very nice looking old Ferrari. And then in P14 we've got the Pool. Fair play to him. I think Jay Pooley is missing tonight, though. He was doing a bit of wallpapering, so well done, Jay Pooley. Hopefully it's going well and the sanding isn't getting the best of you. Then we have C. Hewlett then in 15th, and then in 16th then is Jay Lape. Then in 17th we have Mr. Patrick Beesters, going to do a great job, and a fan favourite himself, Andre Batek. Woo! The car goes crazy. Andre Batek up in 18th, so well done to him. Then in P19 then we've got Chris Polycott there in an absolutely gorgeous looking Ferrari. Then in P20 is my favourite looking Porsche. This is Annam Friday. Then in P21 we have Aaron Holloway, who's loving this track and car combination as we've seen. Then in P22 it is Elchog. I'm going to get that right eventually. Then in P23 we have Andy Polycott. Then we have Gervekis in P24. I absolutely love that car. See, I sponsor it. Mooney's on it. I sponsor it. Then in P25, we've got Rutikus. And P26 is Aaron Sparks on his first appearance in FFG. Now, I know he's changing this livery, so I want you to enjoy this, guys. He does his own liveries as well. It's a thing of beauty. He done a very good job on his Halloween livery. Then we have Mr. Phelan then in P27. And in P28 then we have Kowalski in probably one of the nicest looking McLarens you'll ever see in the game. It's absolutely an amazing job. Whoever done that livery, absolute hats off. Then in P29 we have a newcomer in. I'm going to get his name just right, I think. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to jump across out of this though. Somehow. Now here we go. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. So in P29 it's actually Xerix. I was just getting ready to get going. I'm going to jump on with Matty Gamble, but we go to TV2. So guys, let's enjoy the race and let's see what the boys can do. Also, I want to thank ACC Drive for sponsoring our league as always. They are an absolute legends. They have the best app if you're doing endurance racing. There's a link in our Discord to get the ACC Drive. It's a once-off payment and it gives so much telemetry. It has overlays, and when you're doing endurance racing, it's probably the greatest thing you'll ever have. But let's get on with it tonight, guys, because we're about to get going for an hour here around, of course, the amazing Oulton Park. So let's get on with it, guys, as we go across up to the line. We're about to get going. Although, look at that, Tom Solis after getting himself a drive-through for starting ahead of Matty Gamble. He's going to be kicking himself for that one, so Matty Gamble doesn't have to fight too hard. Although Solis gets a little bit wide, Chris has to run a bit. Oh, there's Dominic Geese is out. There's a bit of action there. There's quite a few cars involved with this. Batek's going backwards. Wow, that is half the grid are involved with this one here. So Poole's back going, Warren's back going, Sparks back going, Geese. I'm going to jump back on with this. We're going to go back about 30 seconds though to see actually what transpired there. That was a massive accident. So many cars involved with that one there. So Dominic Geese going in. Dominic gets a bit loose. So it was actually the McLaren that lost it and caused an awful lot of incidents. Batek gets involved. Everyone else seems to get through. Other than about 4 or 5 cars did lose a bit of time there. That was super unlucky. And we have G. Smith is after dropping down to 26th. So can we go back 15 seconds for G. Smith to see what happened? Oh, I didn't see what happened at the start, but we do see the outcome of it. I'll have to try and get that now in a second. And as we say that, Trevel is off now. Oh my god, what is happening here today? So that is Trevel. Let's go back 15 seconds. Let's catch that. It's dropped anyway. And he's just waiting for the cars to get by. He's done the right thing. He's kept his foot on the brakes. That's what you're meant to do. Glenn looks like I'm feeling everyone's through. So he done the right thing. This has been quite a busy start, guys, so far. Let's actually have a look at the racing. So we've Matty Gamble from Chris Tedder from Mr. Solis, who does have a drive-through in P3. Chico Lindbar in P4. Britt Batiste in P5. Dudley P6. Luca Marido attacking John Dudley in P7. With Gary Smith still behind in P8. But Mary is just sitting there. Gets a little bit squirrely on the rear. Trying to keep up with Dudley. Elstrong is just after having a moment there. Is that just losing the rear by himself? So he goes by Beasters and is right beside, that looks like Adam Friday. Oh, he loses on the curb. Oh, Adam is just super unlucky, but gets back going. Okay, so Brie Batiste is after getting by Chico Lindfar. This has been a very, very busy start at the minute. Andre Batek is in the pit still. Xerix has quite a bit of frontal damage, but has to wait for the pits to open. Trevel the same. Elchog there is in, so Perez in 26th. At the minute there, so there's quite a bit of incidents there at the start. I didn't expect such a big one, but that's what happens, I suppose, on a narrow track. Once one car goes, there's going to be a ripple effect, especially when he lost it coming back onto track. So Chico's lost 2 places there. So did Chico go wide? So we've got Dudley and... did he go wide? Yeah, he just ran wide. I know he hasn't been enjoying himself, and Tom Solis now is after having a moment. Guys, I can't keep up with this. The grass. Oh my god, after such a great quality as well. Oh, that is tough, tough luck. Guys, we're looking at more replays in the race at the minute. There's so many things happening. So Britt Batiste now is up into third position. Chris Tedder still in second, half a second off Matty Gamble. So he's doing a good job keeping up with Matty Gamble. We also then have, of course, our boy Mr. Dudley holding off Luca Murray, who's having a great race. Chico Linkbar is just there. Gary Smith's a little bit behind. Well, not too far behind Chico though, all the same. So that's a nice little ding-dong that's about to happen as well. Going back further, Poole is after losing a few positions there now. Dan Poole has, as everyone else is flying by. Oh, Glenn's after having an incident there. Glenn's having a tough one. I'm not sure what happened there. Phelan obviously and Glenn came together. I'll be interested to see, do I have a log of that? It's not giving me the option to play that though. Here we go. So Glenn is what, 777. Let's get this replay here. Is Glenn coming? Oh my god. He got murdered by Phelan there. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Trevel's getting by Ruckus there now anyway. Gonna jump on with Aaron Sparks. Aaron Sparks, so even with the slight bit of damage, doing a great job in P17. I did say to him a certain position. I won't say it till after the race because I don't want to jinx it just yet on him. But he's having a great race there at the minute. He's on the back of Poole. Both cars running a slight bit of damage. Then Kowalski, there's a bit of a train forming there. He's done a great job. Aaron Sparks, though, has got by Poole because Poole has gone into the pits as the pit window is open, which is very smart to do. If you do have damage, get in, get out of all the craziness and get the job done. It's a short lap here as well, so you don't want to be coming back out into traffic. So guys do need to be thinking of that also. Just stream time with that run, Cesar, and only looking at the chat there now. So Tedder is sticking there as Luca Murray looks like he's got by Mr. Dudley, and then Chico Lienfar was thinking about it and then has to just pull in and wait. Gary's right behind them as well. So all of these guys absolutely on a Britt Batiste is probably hoping these lads fight each other, give me some space. Absolutely madness. So looking there now, so Glenn's back up in now into P23. I feel absolutely awful for him after that rear end and he got there. He must feel like he should have got dinner first with that one. These things happen. Rutkiss is in P22. Doing a decent job fighting with Polycott there. Lienfar is still there with John Dudley. So Gary is going into the pits now to get out of this into fresh air. I think that's a super smart decision from Gary, to be absolutely honest about it. He's not going to be stuck in mad traffic then. He's going to come out into clear air with no one too close behind him and a little bit of time ahead of him. So I think Gary's done an absolutely genius move there. And Friday's done the same there now, gone in. So Britt Batiste has Luca Murray catching him at quite a rate of knots now. Chico Lienfar is with Dudley. Hewlett though and Aaron Holloway. Nathan Warren though is after having a big moment. This is the corner you do not want to be going sideways at. So Nathan coming down. Did he just lose it? Yeah, he just lost it. Similar what happened to me and Kyle Lamy last night under braking. If you just dip one of those tyres onto the grass, it's game over. Aaron Holloway up into P9 by the way, guys. With all the commotion that's going on, he was able to avoid it and is definitely doing well from a Hewlett just ahead of him there, getting the job done. So Chico Lienfar in 6th position, doing a phenomenal job. Luca Murray is slowly closing in on Britt Batiste. Gary's just... Oh, that's Glenn coming out of the pit, so Glenn's got his job done as well. Andre Batek, of course, out there in P28. Tom Solis in P29. And Zirix is slowly coming up through the grid there as well. With Phelan coming up through as well. Kowalski here. It looks like he's just got the job done. We missed that as Polycott does lose a position. Kowalski gets the job done. We were coming on just to see what happened there. Oh, Luca Mari. I've seen him coming in like an absolute hot thing. Let's go back. So, just looks like he got the braking wrong. Oh yeah, he carried way too much speed in there. Yeah, that's what happens. Oh, yellow flag for Chris Tedder. No, 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 Chris. What happened? Oh. Did he clip the grass? Yeah. Oh. Jesus Christ. I really want him to like have no bad luck and get a good race in, because his pace has been phenomenal all this season. That is super frustrating. Super frustrating. Look, he's back out in P7, so it's only 5 positions for such a long time lost. So in fairness, he can definitely still come back from this. He'll just have to be driving the absolute nipples out of that car now. That's super unlucky there. On with Chico Lindfar, as he is under, what, less than 2 tenths now with Mr. Dudley, but Dudley's had an answer for him so far. So Chris Tedder now is starting to pull in on Hewlett already. Luca Mari as well on a recovery drive right behind Tedder, with Aaron Holloway there in P9. Then of course we have Jay Lape down behind Aaron Sparks. Aaron Sparks doing a great job here up in P13, and he got the move done on Jay Lape as well. Both of them do have a bit of damage. Then you've got Elshog, Nathan Moore behind Trevel, Dominic Geese and Polycott. Dominic Geese must have just had a moment. He's the hazard zone, but he's going to be taking them off, I'd assume, unless he's forgot about it. Oh, Polycott has a bit of a moment there. So Glenn is starting to catch in as well. So Tedder's in the pits, Luca Mari's in the pits. So Glenn is catching pool like there's no tomorrow. Solis is in the pits. Trevel is now in the pits as well. So the pit lane is quite busy now. Chico Lindfar does have a little bit of side damage by the looks of it there as well. So there's been wars happening everywhere today, guys. I'm sweating about doing this, Stuart. But it should be fine. So Chris Tedder comes out now in P19. That's his pit stop done. Glenn P25, his pit stop is obviously done as well. Trevel P23. Zirik's doing a very good job in his debut, and Luke at P21. So Leip and Eshong are catching in on Aaron Sparks. But Aaron, actually no, not catching in. Aaron Sparks is pulling away. He's gone over a second clear now of Mr. Leip, and Aaron is doing a great job. Keep it up, bro. It's what we like to see. Chico Lindfar doing a great job. Still there with John Dudley, but in fairness, Dudley just has the measure at the minute of Chico. I'm sure to Chico's frustration, but at the same time, we know Chico was struggling a little bit with this car in terms of setup today in the pre-race. Andy Polycott up in P10. Let's have a look. So from P15 backwards, most people have pitted. So Zirix hasn't pitted, and he must have had a moment there. So the hazards are on. Okay, he must have had some sort of an issue. Phelan has not pitted yet, and Rutherkiss has not pitted yet on Polycott, but everyone else in the top, from the top 14 back, has, and of course all the top 10 haven't. But looking at the places gained, right, because of that crazy start, Zirix, he's had a huge damage, so he's just trying to get back to the pit safely, which I absolutely admire, and thanks so much, Zirix. You're absolutely a legend. I'm delighted. I would have a league full of these kind of people. Even if something happens, they're going back the right way, they're doing it correctly, and they're being absolutely obliging to other drivers. I absolutely love this. Zirix, absolutely welcome to FFG. So Matty Gamble is obviously where he started. Britt Batiste is up 8 positions, as that is Zirix trying to get back to the pits. Then we have John Dudley in 3rd, Chico Lindfar is in 4th, Patrick Bishters is in 5th. Bishters up 12 positions, Dudley's up 4, Lindfar is up 1. Hewlett's up 9 positions in P6, but Kowalski, absolutely amazing, up 21 positions into P7. Aaron's up 13 positions into P8. Jervetka's up 15 positions into P9. Polycott is in 13 positions in P10. Aaron Sparks up 15 positions into P11 and had that little bit of damage from that unlucky race start. Jay Lape up 4 positions, Eshang up 9. That is Gary Smith then down 6 positions, but he does have his pit stop done. That is very crucial for him. Polycott's up 4 for Chris. Rutikis is up 9. Adam Friday's up 3 with his pit stop done. Tedder's down 15 but does have his pit stop done, so that's not over and out for him just yet. Luca Murray has his pit stop done, down 10 positions. Phelan's up 7. Trevel's down 15 with the pit stop done. Glenn's down 18. Poole is down 9. Nathan Warren's down 11. So these are all the people that were impacted at the race start. Novak is down 13. Mundek, so Zerik's in the pits, he's up 3 at the minute, but Batak down 18 or 9 positions, and Solis down 26. So Solis has been the worst off in all of this, guys and gals. We'll jump on with Polycott though, as this is quite an interesting battle here. Aaron Sparks is about 3.4 seconds off them, but Aaron does have Lape catching in on him as well. So looking at this one here, I'm going to jump on because Lape is right on the back of Aaron. Aaron's left the inside open. Lape should kind of hold on. He was thinking about it, but does the right thing. It's so easy to try and want to dive bomb there, but how tight that corner is to take then realistically in the car, it would have been 2 become 1 there. And that's great driving from Lape not to take that move and showing the experience is starting to come in with him. They have Alshon, and Gary is going to be getting held up now behind these as well. We know Gary has a slight bit more pace than a few of these guys racing here, but the guys are entitled to race. And don't forget, with all GT racing as well, that the blue flag is literally move out of the way when you can. You don't have to move out of the way straight away. Obviously, you need to do it safely and do it in a way where people know. As we look there, Gary is after getting by Elshong up into P13. I'm going to jump back on with Polycott here as he's super close to Javekis now. But Javekis just seems to have the drive. Oh, Elshong's after having a momento. So he's coming down behind Gary. Goes grand. That was a very weird looking incident. It's like someone jerked his steering or something like that. That's really unusual there. Gary Smith's just after having a moment. So they just run wide here. Oh, just before it. Where the hell was that pump? He's very lucky where he went off that he could rejoin and not lose a massive amount of time, but not ideal. Not ideal. Adam Friday. Oh my god. Guys, what is going on? So Adam Friday with Chris Tedder behind. Adam just gets the braking wrong. Hits the back. Luckily for Chris Tedder, not involved there, and Chris Tedder is able to get through there. It was like a little gift from God. The 2 back markers getting out of the way pretty much for Chris Tedder there. That's how I'd look at that one there. But we'll be busy in the steward's room after this. So Matty Gamble, luckily enough, has kept himself out of awe, as there's a bit of a side-by-side moment there. So Matty Gamble is going to be giving him a blue flag now. But he's having a phenomenal race. He holds the fastest lap at the minute at 1:33.897, and Matty Gamble is fastest man, but not by much on the track at the minute, because Beasters is on some good laps as well, with Chico Leanfar just ahead of him. John Dudley up into P3, Bipatiste in P2, Kowalski then in P7, Aaron Holloway in P8. I'm just going to jump around a few of these there. Aaron Sparks still doing a great job holding off everyone in P11. Which is great stuff for him. Late just behind Gary in the background, getting his mojo back and getting on words with it. So it looks like now. So Zirix in P25 still doing a great job. We've lost 2 drivers so far. I wonder who they are. I can't even remember at this stage. So we have lost 2. I'm pretty sure one of them is not who I thought it was. So fair play. I don't know who it was. Anyway, let them off. Let them off. Is P feeling one of them? No, he's still in it. As I say that, he's off. But the good thing is, he actually is not going to lose up too much time, and probably got minimal damage for what could have happened there. In the wet, that's the worst corner to go off. You will see so many people going off. And even in the dry, as you see, Chico goes into the pits, by the way. Even in the dry, it's just one of those corners. You run wide at all, it just drags the car straight off into either the grass, the barrier, or into the gravel trap. It's a very unforgiving corner, and that's the thing with the narrow tracks. Especially this one has a few undulations and a few bumps. Oh, wow. That was a spectacular spin there from Zirix. So he brakes going into... Oh, he just clips the curve too much. Unstables, it runs wide. Does his best, but you're never going to hold it there. Lovely pirouette around, but the main thing is there as well, he was able to rejoin safely. He didn't get any damage. I'd rather all day spin off and have no damage than go off and be absolutely broke up to bits and lose so much time. As I've seen, he already did, but he done the right thing, drove back the track, or back to the pits, kept off the track, did not get in the way of anybody. And I absolutely applaud Xerix for that. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Aaron Sparks is catching Mr. Polycott here as well. Aaron Sparks having a phenomenal race, guys. You got to give it to him. Like, this guy was struggling to be near midfield, and he's doing a great job here today. He's been getting more and more pace. He's impressing me in Amigos this season, so I'm glad he's coming over here and a Cantor to get a bit more race experience as well, as both him and Polycott run wide. And that's so easy to do when you're following a car ahead. You nearly kind of go into tunnel vision sometimes driving behind these as well. As Glenn looks like he's going to go for the move and feeling. I'm sure he's probably shitting it. Oh, he missed the corner altogether. I think he took the track limit there because he didn't trust after the last incident, which is fine. But look, Phelan's still learning his ways, and Phelan keep it up with her. You'll get there, obviously. Just be careful of your braking zones, man. Nathan Warren having a decent one now. He's only 0.9 off. Out front though, Matty Gamble's having a phenomenal race, which is what we're used to seeing from Matty. And he's super consistent as well. And Andy Polycott, Aaron Sparks, Jay Lape, and now Gary Smith is entering this, but Gary's going to be looking back because Chris Tedder was over 10 seconds. Now Chris Tedder is starting to catch in a little bit as well. So this could be playing into Chris Tedder's hands, still being in free air at this stage, with the cars ahead like these here with a bit of damage, racing away for position that haven't pitted as well. So this is probably a blessing in disguise for Tedder. So let's see how this goes. But I'm sure at the minute both Tedder and Gary have had their hard luck stories. Glenn had a massive lag spike. Oh, okay, I didn't know what happened to him. Just like he missed the corner with the other lad there, and I would have understood that as well. So fair play, Liam. Obviously sorry not to see it in, but Liam does have his wheel off to be repaired, as yeah, it's just broken him. But great to have Liam even watching in the stream. Of course, hashtag we miss Liam. Kowalski's in the pits. Gary though looking for the move on Lape. Lape gives the room, and Gary has got by there. So while we're talking there, Kowalski has been super impressive here, and into the pits he is in that beautiful looking Sprite McLaren. So Gary now up into P11. Aaron Sparks, they're having a phenomenal race, as I keep saying. He was unlucky getting that contact with the cars losing their shit on the first corner with one of the McLarens spinning out. I can't remember now, it was that long ago. But yeah, look, they're having a good one here at the minute. Polycott still behind Ravekis, although Gary now is coming right in on Aaron. Now, because Aaron races in Amigos, I just have a feeling he did let him by easy. He wasn't holding him up. So fair play to Aaron, and I tell you one thing, 2 never goes around there. Lape could have held on a little bit there, but he's cost himself a little bit of time, and he's going to have to rethink his life decisions and go for it again at another stage. As we're back on now with that most handsome man in sim racing, as he is now only 0.3 off Phelan. And that looks like Matty Gamble just ahead there as well. So Matty Gamble's got by. Wow! Liam Smith, you're nothing but a bollocks. Love watching the number 2 commentators after Woes. Well, Woes was definitely the man, the myth, the legend, you'd say. So while I was even doing that, Glenn's got away by anyway. I didn't actually see what happened, feeling, because I was looking at your message, Liam. While we're doing that as well, Gary's got by Polycott. Next up for Gary now is, of course, Javekis. Will he make short work of Javekis is the question, as they are entitled to race hard. Patrick Beesters is coming up to Mr. Dudley as well, trying to put the pressure on Mr. Duds. Dudley is 5.1 seconds off Mr. Britt Batiste, and of course the wee boy Matty Gamble. Fucking, he's just awesome. There's no other way of saying it. Like, he's super consistent. Oh, as I say that, I'm jinxing him. He does actually know what that is. He's doing that for the crowd there, showing off. It's like, ah, sure. Cheapers, if only a 16-second lead, I'll do a bit of sideways action. What a legend. Back on though with Bisters. And as I say, back on with Bisters, Polycott is after getting by Gary. Did Gary just have a moment? I'm wondering. He did. The curb got him and Polycott's back by him. So he has to do that again. Leipto has gotten by Sparks. Aaron Holloway has done Holloway things there. I don't know what happened because the replay was still going. And fucked if I'm going to go back now. Andy Polycott though is all over the back now of, it looks like, Javekis. Gary's right there as well, and that's playing out for Gary because now it's after slowing down Polycott. No matter where I look at the minute, there seems to be of action. Even Phelan and Vakis behind. I'm going to stay on with Polycott here because this is quite a tasty battle. The guys need to avoid these curves. As Leip now is on the move with these as well. Aaron Sparks is back a little bit after having that moment. But Aaron, I'm still absolutely supporting and loving what you're doing out there, bro. I love seeing drivers who start off kind of in the slower category starting to come into their own. And that's what we're seeing with Aaron now. Oh my god, Gary, I swear to god. That put the frights up me. Gary is looking for a way, but he's trying to put the pressure on. He's like, get out of my way, but you can't just shout at them. Gotta make it happen. Tedder's after getting by Aaron Sparks. I have a feeling that's another Aaron Sparks being very generous because he's lost a few seconds there. So Gary has been let pretty much by. I think Andy just let him by. Didn't want to be fighting too much in the end. And now we're on for Javekis as Anam Fridays after having a moment. What's happened? Anam, usual story, runs onto the grass or hits the car, one or the other. Oh, just understeers, hits the grass, and wham bam. It's so easy that can happen. That's the love of Oulton Park, guys. It gets everybody. So Aaron Sparks there has been got by Kowalski, who has pitted, and Luca Mari now just needs to be patient with Aaron as well. He'll get by in due course as Gary gets by Javekis eventually, which is good because Chris Tedder has gained about 5 seconds due to all the heavy fighting as well. Beester is still about a second off with John Dudley. Britt Batiste is 4.3 seconds ahead, so the guys, even though they're fighting, are starting to catch Batiste as well. But we, Matty Gamble, even after a sideways showboat moment, is after pulling it out now to nearly 17 seconds. So he's having a great race there. Luca Mari is still behind Aaron Sparks. We've got then, of course, Zirix, a newcomer to FFG, in 26th position at the minute, with Tom Solis after a very tough start to the race is in P25. The man, the myth, the legend that is Andre Batek, giving the flash as he always does, letting the car through, so he's in P24. Rutkus in P23. Phelan is in P22 with Novakis then in P21. Then we have Adam Friday in P20, Nathan Warren in P19, D Poole in P18, the most handsome man in sim racing in P17, and he's starting to make a decent comeback. Next up to row for him though is Trevel, who is quite a bit ahead, so there's a bit of work on for Glenn. Then again, hopefully pit stops do get in the way of it. Aaron Holloway though is after having a moment, but is still going. Jump back on there now to P15, who's Luca Murray, who's trying to catch in Aaron Sparks, who's having a great debut here in FFG. Obviously comes from Amigos, we know Aaron well. Then we have Kowalski in P13. Chris Tedder up to P12 after his unlucky turn 1 shenanigans. or turn 4 shenanigans, should I say. Aaron Holloway jumping into the pits in P11, so he's going to drop down. Lapes in P10, Polycott's P9, Javekis in P8. Then we have Gary Smith in P7. Chico Lindfar is in P6 in the FFG Gulf livery. Then we have Hewlett in P5, Beasters in P4, Dudley P3, Batiste in P2, and Gamble now 18.5 seconds clear in P1. But we're going to jump back on because Luca Mari side by side with Aaron. Aaron is not giving him an absolute inch. Luca Mari just has to be patient and wait for it. And of course then he's got Trevel right behind Trevel. Come on, right back into this as well. So this has worked out well for Trevel. But now, can they get by Aaron? Will they be begging for, oh, as I say, can they get by? Aaron just clipped that curb. Has rejoined the track, but the two guys have got by. If I was Aaron Sparks now, I'd be getting into the pits and then going the whole way to the end. Why not? So guys, we're halfway through this race. It feels like I'm after doing 500 races there with that one. So Aaron Holloway still in the pits. He's coming back out on about P22. So not too bad there. Polycott though, still trying to put the pressure on Gervais. Chris Tedder now is unfortunately stuck in this train that Gary was stuck in. And this is where Gary now is being able to pull it out. So Gary's back to nearly 10 seconds clear and probably might gain time now by the time Tedder gets through. Although Leip got out of Tedder's way. That's one down as Leip is in the pits. So what can Tedder do now? He's right on the back now of Polycott. I think Andy's letting him by though. I'd have to say Andy Polycott's been very, very sound. He knows what his race is and he lets him by. That's absolutely good stuff there. Kowalski though is after getting by as well. Polycott, do you know what, respect. I think I'd be the same if I knew I'm not faster, which I do anyway in Amigos. If I see Lean Far that behind me, I'll just let them by. I don't see the point in fighting them. Though I like driving into the back of Lean Far in Nürburgring in turn 1 though. You hear me shouting, Chico, Chico, you know I'm going straight for the back of him. So while this going on now, Chris Tedder right behind Rebekis now. He's nearly nudging him out of the way. He's just get out my way. Chris gets a much nicer drive on the exit. Oh, he's going to go for the inside line. But that, oh, the in a straight line is going. Oh, that's unbelievable from Chris. That was that savage move there. Gotta give it to him under the braking. Somehow kept that car, and that was unbelievable. But also Kowalski right behind it. Kowalski's been super impressive in that Sprite McLaren. And the Polycott, of course, got by Javekis, but now unfortunately because they're running wide, has to concede that place. Now Hewlett's gone into the pits now as well. So that's Hewlett in. Beasters is still with Dudley, but has nowhere to go. So the top 4 are yet to pit, and of course Javekis, Polycott have not pitted. Aaron Sparks has not pitted as of yet. And that's it. So we've only literally, what, 7 people not yet to pit. So Aaron Sparks is the furthest back who hasn't pitted yet. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Oh yeah, and the reason I suppose why Beasters, sorry, not Beasters, Solis is so far back as well. He did jump to start and get a 30-second time penalty as well in game. So that's the reason why actually he is so far back. I forgot all about that. Now, I'm only streaming on YouTube tonight, guys, so hopefully the stream is lovely. I'll be back on TikTok, or not TikTok, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to be back on Twitch as well for the next stream as well. To be honest with you, I forgot to turn it on more than anything else. Now, looking at Beasters in, so then we've got Kowalski, Polycott, Glenn Smith is catching, guys. He's up in P16 fighting for P15 now. Let's see what the handsome guy can do. He's definitely getting to grips with the Lambo. And he has some amazing pace. Obviously, it's not amazing when you get a good old rear end, and Glenn's being very patient at the minute. And for anyone watching that wants to join in with ourselves, for Season 3 we're going to be running 2 different servers. a faster server and then a more modest server. Our 2.4 endurance solo season is kicking off soon as well. And then we have our new season of F1 live on SimGrid as of today. And that's for season 3, which is actually starting in early January because we're still in the end of season 2. We've still a few races left. But I just wanted to get that up live early as well. So don't be afraid to register for that as well. We're going to be running 2 different splits in our Formula 1 league, all run through SimGrid now. Glenn, just staying on with this battle because it's an interesting battle. It's nice to stay on to see, but now this is it. I think Glenn has to go for the move here. He's on the inside. Leip gives the room that's deserved. Glenn gets by. That's beautifully done there from Glenn, and his eyes will be going forward now to the next one. He's on an upward curve, which is nice to see. And another Smith that's on an upward curve is, of course, Gary Smith now in P6 with Beasters just ahead of him. So Beasters pits coming out barely ahead. Chico Linfar, of course, is pitted as well. So Dudley, Batiste and Gamble are yet to pit. As I say that, Beasters runs into the pits now. So that's going to promote Tether then up into P6. And then Kowalski into P7. And they've Aaron Sparks out in the middle in P... What? Oh, not Aaron Sparks, sorry. Aaron Holloway in P22. Sorry, I'm keep getting mixed up with the 2 Aarons. Trevel is having a good one as well because he did have a moment and went off and let pretty much the whole field by because he's a fucking legend and understands racing. And yeah, up into P9 and continuing on. He's fighting with Javakis. Beester's still in the pits. Aaron Sparks, I think Aaron's going to just drag this out to the end now and then jump in at the last minute. Luca Mari though, right there also. Polycott Trevel. So there's a nice little train again. Javekis has been holding a train, but he hasn't really come under too much pressure. Peter Phelan's had a moment, but he's kept it going. He's has Andre Batek though, who is catching him, but still has to unlap himself. Andre he gets the flashers on. Oh, I love Andre. So Dan Poole has got by Beasters right now, coming out of the pits, of course. Beasters was coming out. Aaron Sparks had a moment. No, Aaron, no. No, Michael, no. This is not right. It's kind of apt because it's a Mercedes. Oh, such an easy thing that can happen, and it's so hard. Oh, nice recovery, though. That was showboating for the crowd. And Glenn gets by. And the good thing as well for Glenn is actually that Leip is... Oh, Leip got by Aaron by the looks of it there. Andy Polycott's had a bit of a moment on the straight coming out, but is back going. We won't need to look too much into that one. Trevel, 0.2 off Javakis. Kowalski still following with Mr. Chris Tedder. Andy Polycott's gone into the pits now. I think he was better off doing that. If he's dropped it there and if he did get any damage, that's the time to go in and get that sorted. Wee Matty's in the pits. Oh, we have Aaron Sparks in the pits also, so the pit's getting quite busy. Britt Batiste coming around. Will Britt Batiste go in now, or is he going to keep it going? Ah, Britt wants to lead for that. I think that's exactly what Britt's going to do. America, fuck yeah. Will he get out ahead of him? He does. Oh, he doesn't. Matty Gamble side by side with Britt. Britt just tucks in behind. That is unbelievable. Just the pace Matty Gamble's had today. He was able to pull the pit stop out on P2, and P2 is still yet to pit. That is unbelievable. There's no other way to say that. Oh my god. That would have been scary. Absolutely scary. But he's got by Patrick Beasters side by side, it looks like, with Poole. Poole says the inside. Beasters has to give room. So then Beasters does get the job done though, as Poole gets a little bit sideways. Trevel though with Javakis. BMW versus Audi. The Germans are at it. He's flashing the lights. does the right thing, gets out of that one there. That was only going to end one way because he would have maybe run a little bit wide, tipped the car. So great racecraft there from these guys tonight. Big shout out as well to Xerix in his first race. He showed some amazing racecraft, and even under blue flag conditions, that's how you do it now. Indicator on, being as obvious as they get by me. I'm not going to be fighting. I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm delighted to have him in here. On now, retrieval with Gervakis, round 552. I'm sure he's going to be begging for a way by now. Let's see how we get on here now. Oh my god, Trevel, no, 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 no. Was he just caught out there? Because it happened so quick. Right, he cuts back. Oh. Let's see what happens anyway. Now, on with Matty Gamble, we're going to jump back on now. Murray, oh, he runs wide. He was lucky not to go onto the grass. He's right behind Gervakis. Trevel, though, not too far off after his off-road experience. Poole now with Leip, side by side. Leip concedes that. Poole gets by there. Beautifully done from them guys there. Hashtag Glenn Smith recovery drive or what? Up into P12 now. So we have Xerix in the pits. Tom Solis now up into P25. Batek in P24. Doing great jobs. Luca Mari, though, is still looking for a way by Gervakis. Britt Batiste is 2.5 seconds off Gamble. Of course, he is yet to pit, as is Jay Dudley. Chico Linfar is looking fairly set for a P2, really, depending on how much time is lost in the pits around here. It's not as much as other tracks. It's anywhere between 23 seconds to about 30 seconds is what I'm looking at here, the average. The fastest pit stop, though, it looks like it was actually wee Matty Gamble, 22 seconds stationary. He must have got that pit stop just right, as Murray still trying to get away by Mr. Gervakis. That Audi just being an absolute devil to get by. So Echelon is now back in. They need to get out and driving. Now, so the guys are going out. They need to get the points on the track, though. Gary Smith in P5 doing a great job. Luca Murray P9 still doing what he can. Gary Smith, though, is catching Chico Linfar. That is a possible fight for P2 here. Okay, still just can't find a way by. As I say that, I think he's just found a way by. And look at that, Trevel's right there to benefit as well. Trevel, though, is going side by side. He's the running Murray as well. 2 places in one bit of a straight. Great stuff there for Trevel. I'm sure he will be satisfied with that one there, as Murray is looking to fight back. I'm going to keep an eye out on Glenn. Look. Yeah, I'll jump back on with Glenn here now. I thought something was happening there. It wasn't. So this is a fight essentially for P2 by the time that Dudley and Batiste pit. As there is about, what, 30 seconds in it. So maybe not essentially P2. Britain might come back out slightly ahead in P2. Let's see. It really goes down to how long they're going to be in the pits for. Can you get it right? Can you get the car lined up and back out? If your name is Colin Mooney, that's not going to be the case. Let's see how this one goes for them. At the minute, it's all quite close. But we're going to stick on with Gary now and Chico Leanfar. That's an absolutely awful view. There we go. So that's the view inside Gary's car. It's probably a nicer view then. Yeah, look how clear it is. Lambo has terrible, terrible visibility. So that's what Chico's rear wing looks like at the minute. Gary trying to do a bit of a switchback to get a better drive out, but doesn't work with Chico Leanfar there anyway. He's still within the 4/10 at present. Luca Mari is dropping away now from Trevel. So Trevel is definitely getting his own pace. He is about 10 seconds off of Kowalski with 15 minutes left. Be interesting to see how this goes. Oh, as we look at that there, Smith's just getting by Leanfar, guys. Sorry about that. Let's go back on the replay. So Chico runs wide, and that's just enough for Gary. See Gary then coming on the inside. That's lovely done. Chico does the right thing, lets off, and Gary gets by. So on now, Britt Batiste. Britt is still yet to pick, guys, which is absolutely incredible. It's Chico in P5, Gary P4, Dudley in P3. This man here though as well, Matty Gamble, is doing a phenomenal job in P1. Don't forget, he has pitted. Dan Poole as well, doing a great job. Fighting with Nathan Warren in P15. Chico, I don't think will be able to hold them off too much longer. Glenn Smith, though, gets a lovely move done. Let's go back and get a full look at that. So side by side, heli-cam the crap out of this. Gets the job done coming up to the corner. And even the speed he's carrying through compared, though, is Mahusov. Most handsome man in sim racing. Not too far off getting into the top 10. That's a recovery and a half, guys, if you've ever seen it. I swear his car's been in a fight with Mike Tyson with the amount of hits it's after taking. And it's held on to them as well. We'll call his car Lennox Lewis. With the pun that he's British. Nice stuff there from Chico. Luca Mario is starting to slowly come back into Trevel now. getting close now. So, Matty Gamble's had a moment. Did I just see that right? Just when I was looking at the other thing. So Matty Gamble has had a moment, but as I go back from this, Hewlett's just after having a moment, and the handsome man Glenn is now up into P10. Yeah, Hewlett's after having a huge moment. I'm not going to go back now, or will I have actually in my log? Hewlett is 94, but it's not showing it there, so I'm going to stay out of that one. So Luca Murray, though, is 10 seconds clear of Glenn Smith, and Glenn pulled him in, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at this stage. He's having a great recovery drive. So Matty Gamble obviously still will have to overtake Britt, but Matty is a pit stop ahead. Britt can't really defend too much here at the end of the day. He's it's not his fight. Chico's had a moment. Oh my god, Chico's had a moment. Oh, what's happened there? I just lost on the braking. Oh, and then the rear just went to him. Chico's back out on fifth regardless. Matty Gamble's literally just getting back by Britt as I see. So no harm, no foul for Britt in terms of position, although he's lost about 8.5 seconds to Gary because of that. But he's still about 12 and a bit seconds ahead of Chris Tedder, so hasn't been the worst thing in the world, but obviously not ideal for him. Nathan Warren, though, is having a good battle. He's keeping Poole behind, and he's coming up to Javekis, who has proven to be quite tough to overtake this evening, to be fair about it. And as I say that, Javekis has let them by. So Javekis must be... he's just not getting involved. Okay. So Luca Mari is still there with Trevel. Kowalski, though, is catching back up to Tedder. I think this is due to Tedder coming up to a bit of a backmarker situation. He's got a little bit wide. Kowalski having a lot of pace there. So Tedder won't be able to rest just yet. I'm assuming Britt will be in either this lap or the next lap. Otherwise, he'll be getting some penalties. Dudley the same. I expect Dudley to be in. Dudley's probably going to drop just behind Gary by about 4 or 5 seconds, and ahead of Chico Linfar by about the 4 or 5 second mark as well. So that actual spin has probably cost Chico one spot and a possible podium. Not sure yet how things will actually look by the end of this, but it is possible that he could have lost the podium due to this. Jay Leif, though, fighting with Polycott then in P17 and 18 as well. Elshung's out there, pair doing a good job. He'll get his points this evening. Luca Murray, of course, doing what he can now. He has 8.5 minutes to get the job done. Dudley is in the pits, as Javekis is just sitting in the pit lane. Did he run out of fuel or what's going on? We have then Luca Murray, who's still right behind Trevel. I suppose if you are Glenn right now, you'd be begging them boys to have a bit of a fight. So I was correct. Dudley is coming out about 6 seconds off Smith, and he is about 5 seconds ahead of Chico Linfar. So in fairness, that has cost Linfar a place, that spin. What it didn't on track at the time. So I'm assuming this lap now, this guy here, Britt Batiste, will be in. He could possibly do one more lap, but you're leaving it tight then at that, Britt. Because if you have one big spin and you're stuck out for a while, that could be costing you quite heavy. So let's see, does Britt go in now? This is what I'm focused on for the minute. So Britt is going into the pits now. I'm going going to stay on here just to see with Gary now to see where he comes. Oh, feeling drops it, but luckily for Gary, not impeded, but Britt has come out ahead of him just, and he has a back marker in the way as well. So that was super close there, but Britt has somehow held on to P2 at the minute. Gary is trying to catch him down. Dudley is off them as well, so at the minute Dudley will not be on a podium. Let's see though how we go on, because now look at this, Gary's right on top of Britt. I'm pretty sure they're in a chat together as well in FFG, so in our Discord, a lot of the drivers feel free to go in and listen to the chat. Britt's flashing like a good thing. Looking to get by. Looks like Andy's going to let both of them through. Does not want to get involved. Oh, Gary gets caught out. But Britt, let's go on board with Gary. So if we just go in there as the passenger view. Oh, he just got the braking just wrong and just got away enough. There's nothing he can do there. So Gary stays ahead though. Gary gets to stay ahead of Britt. And they're back at it again for round 2. Gary much closer this time round. Going for a much nicer line. Gets on the power earlier but is nowhere ready to go. I would say he's doing rapid in that Lambo. Right behind. Oh, a bit of a nudge there. This is absolutely epic. Less than 5 minutes to go. Second and third. Hammer and tongs at it. And with that as well, Kowalski and Ted are behind. Starting to get into it now. Murray's dropped off Trevel a little bit there. Glenn Smith, I think, is going to be finishing P10, which is still an amazing recovery drive from where he was at the start. Gary goes super wide there. I wouldn't dare go that much wider. Clip that grass and you see the death that occurs. So I'd say frustration's probably catching into Gary. He still has a few laps, probably 3 laps to get it done. Needs to just refocus, re-energise himself and get into it. Same thing for Luke and Murray here. Although there's going to be an awful lot of back markers getting in the way now. And Aaron Sparks in P17. Go on, you daisy. That's what I'd like to see. So let's hope you keep that position by the end, mate. I'll be absolutely thrilled for you. A drive through for Hewlett as well. That's super tough, guys. Only noticing that now. He's in the pits. So he's only going in to serve that now. So that must be Navakis going by. Polycott though is still too far back, so it hasn't cost Hewlett a massive amount of time other than 1 lap, I suppose, as he comes out behind Navakis. Aaron Holloway is fighting with Friday now as well, which is good for Aaron Sparks. If these keep fighting, Aaron will want them guys to fight. Oh, Aaron gets it a little bit wide though, but keeps it going. Oh! 2 of the guys go off there. Let's have a recap of that one there. They're racing side by side. Natural corner. Aaron runs a bit wide. Was back on. He was taking the corner. I don't think he didn't realise that the Porsche was still there and the Porsche was entitled to a bit of room. So that's I think that was more a racing incident from what we just looked at than anything else. Aaron Holloway looking like he's after letting it. Looks like Matty Gamble. Sure, no, it's not. It's Glenn Smith gone through. So Luca Murray, 0.3 of a second off. Gary's back on for one more fight, I think, and one more stab at the apple now. He's 2.5 minutes left, so essentially another, what, 2 laps? Depending on where Matty is on the track. Yes, it's going to be 2 laps by the time Matty crosses. Yeah, 2 laps Gary has to get the job done, to get himself up into P2. Luca Murray, same, 2 laps to try and get that move done. Fair play to Pierre Echelon, who has got himself back into it. He had a disconnect with his steering wheel but has kept it going, so fair play to him. Now, so still a great job from Arsenal. I'm delighted for him. He's doing a great job there. So Gary and P3 though, this is as close as you can want it now. Brit Batiste running a bit wide. He has 1.5 laps to get this job done now. Gary is going to try everything now. He's going to have to give everything now. Obviously, within reason, he doesn't want to be losing out in that position. Oh, it looks like Andre Batek in the background has gone into the gravel. We won't jump on with that now as it's into the last bit of this race. So Luca Mari has got by Trevel, by the way, guys. I did miss that in all the shenanigans that was going on. Aaron Sparks, though, has Adam Friday in a 10 seconds. Aaron Sparks looks like he's fairly comfortable. What's happened here? So Nathan Moran, I think, is after having a bit of a disconnect issue there. Oh, Nathan. Spirit Batista still holding on to Gary as to go on to the last lap now. And the race leader that hasn't really gotten as much eye on the stream as he should have, Matty Gamble. Another phenomenal driver. I can't big this guy up enough. He's just absolutely phenomenal. And of course, repping for 2ID. And his teammate Glenn Smith in P10. I know Darius Shmarsky sometimes races here as well. Hopefully we see him back, although he was in the Porsche. I'm not sure how he's loving that. When I jump back on though with Gary and Britt. Britt is having a race of his life here. Keeping Gary behind. Can he keep it all the way for half a lap now? Gary is doing everything within his power, although he's super close this time. They're going to go side by side. Gary gets onto grass, has to give a bit of space. Britt was entitled to a little bit of space there. I think Gary was just still kind of getting the car under control, and Matty Gamble's slowing down for what happened, Matty. Oh, the rear just went to him. That's, I think, the first time I've seen Matty have a mistake in a race. That was his own doing in so long, but it makes no odds to him. We're going to stand with Matty though as the thing goes, because there he does, he crosses the line, and that's another one for Matty Gamble. A phenomenal race win there from him, unbelievable. And Britt has held off so far Gary Smith. Gary's about half a second off. He does have a good drive on Britt, but just doesn't have the time left, and unfortunately for Gary, P3 will have to do him. It's a well fought, and you know what, Britt, you truly deserve that. That's a great one there. Gary, phenomenal drive in P3, by the way, bud. Unbelievable. Dudley in P4. Chico Linfar comes back up to Dudley in P5. And a massive recovery drive from Chris Tedder as well. For Chris, he is a super fast driver. He's had a bit of bad luck, and even with the bit of bad luck this time, it's still a decent points position. I want to see him back on the podium at some stage though. Simon Kowalski, unbelievable job then in P7. Luca Mari in P8. Trevel then in P9. The most handsome man in sim racing, Glenn Smith, coming back from a recovery drive into P10. Phenomenal drive as always, and really getting to grips with that Lamborghini. Patrick Beesters then in P11. Mattas in P12, Hewlett in P13. There's probably a few people who have left as what happens once the race is over, but Matty Gamble, standout race there. Unbelievable. Such good pace there today. That's unbelievable stuff there from Matty. So I'm going to jump in now as Matty Gamble's coming in for an interview, I see. Well, Matty Gamble.
How's it going?
What was that in the background? All I was idiot.
When I join a voice chat, it says, look at this idiot.
That's fucking deadly, man. But come here, mate. What a fucking race. That was unbelievable for you.
It was... I was a bit lucky with people crashing out and stuff, but my tyres were shot. My tyres were 25.3 at the left and 24.9
Oh, fuck.
the left front at the end. and I spun on the last lap at Druids.
We got that on replay for you.
And I was like, oh, thank goodness I had such a flipping lead, like, because my left tires were they were so shot. It's like every time going in there, it was like skipping. I was like, oh no, it's gonna go at some point.
You could have pulled in and opened a can of Coke and took a sip and still come out in front there. You were that far ahead, but man, that was unbelievable. The pace though, like you were like over half a second in quali alone, like so. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a good one.
Yeah, I had no idea where it came from, to be honest. I was like thinking going into quali, thinking, oh, gee, for guys, like for guys first half was at 33.9. It's like, oh, flat me, I've not done 33 yet. And then it's like a wonder lap came out, and I couldn't get anywhere near again. I think the closest I got was at 33.3. Couldn't get anywhere near 32 again. Yeah.
Yeah, that was honestly sick though.
Pretty good evening.
Yeah, it was, and like Glenn had a tough start and got there, probably the biggest rear end I've seen in quite a while. But yeah, that's some recovery joy from your teammate Glenn.
Yeah,
P10.
He did well. Yeah, he was quick tonight. A lot of the race he had better pace than me. Well, similar to better pace than me. So it is the whole night. Oh, it was what should have been for him really.
I was gutted, I'm not going to lie. But there was a huge incident at the start, and it happened with a McLaren going sideways. And then when he came back on the track at P1, you know when you go off wide and it fucks you back onto the track? It was just a ripple effect from behind.
Okay, yeah. Because I seen the two big, the two like groups of cars, and I was like, what on earth?
Oh, it was a huge one.
So there'll be something to go back and watch now anyway.
Yeah. It was. From a league perspective, I hate seeing it, but it was hilarious as well at the same time. Just so quite lying about it. It's just like, oh. But no, honestly, very well done. And sure, look, you could be on for an FFG hoodie if you keep going. John Dudley's going to be looking behind now. Obviously, you missed the race, which essentially...
I missed the race. Yeah, and I hound up the gaff the second the second race of Watkins Glen.
Yeah. But look, you're on the way back, and there's still another 2 races to go. And obviously plenty of points to get in there. So keep it up, Matty, anyway. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
No bother. Thanks for jumping in.
On.
No bother at all.
All right. See you later.
Talk to you later on, Matty. Be good.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And there you have it, the race winner, Matty Gamble, in there as well. So look, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the racing. We will be doing a short stream normally on the Friday, going through the incidents. And the incidents will normally be live. I'm going to update the standings provisionally on SimGrid now. And we'll see you for our next race in FFG on Tuesday with the Formula 1. I'm back again then on Wednesday for our next race. And it's going to be quite a nice race for the next one as well. Just supposed to give you a little heads up on that, who aren't in the server. Our next race is going to be... Where am I now? There we go, here. Sorry, our next race is actually going to be in Kyalami. So we are doing the 24-hour in SSRI, by the way, this weekend. So I want to give a big shout out to SSRI. It's a charity race event. I'll be racing with Chico, Dave and Gary. So I'll be looking forward to that one. But then we are back for 90 minutes of Kyalami. 2 pit stops, mandatory for fuel only. So we'll see you then, guys, for the Formula 1 next week. And then, of course, Kyalami 90 minutes. Have a great evening and thanks for watching.